Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be making this. So really gnarly, really awesome growl. Sort of sounds like Virtual Riot, Panda Eyes, maybe Nasko, one of those sort of growls. So I'm going to be walking you through how I made this. Let's start with the main patch. So I'll turn off the sub for now. So here I've got a serum, and let me turn off the effects actually. Got a serum, and this is what it sounds like. Not too exciting. So I'll turn off the filter. I've got no effects. Okay, so what I've got going on here is just a Monster 7. I've got this LFO set to half, just modulating the position of the wavetable. And then I've got this LFO also set to half, modulating the bend minus plus. That's it for the oscillator section. Then all I did is add in a filter, which is a Phasor 48 plus. It really adds a lot of vowel to the sound, so as you'll hear. And just by changing the frequency just slightly, completely different sound. So that is the serum patch, that's all. And then what I've got here is pitch bends, and that is going pretty far down. I've got, I think this is a D note. Yep, it's a D note here. And I've just got the pitch bend going down to just a random note. It's very low, and that's what gives it the gargly sound. If I were to bring this up, it sort of sounds like a normal growl, but if I just bring this back down here, so now I'll turn on the effects. So let's just start from the beginning. So first I've got an auto filter here. As you might have seen in my first growl tutorial, autofilter is really important for growls. It really gives it the vowel movement. And I haven't mapped anything to macros like I did in the first one. I didn't use my growl rack. I just did this straight up in the automation lane. So I've just got a very simple movement. And you can already hear it's sort of cutting out frequencies, making a very vowel-y sound. Next, I've got a saturator, just driving it up 7 decibels with a medium curve. Next, I've just got 3 OTTs. Very simple. Oh, wait, sorry, 4 OTTs. And I've got some output gain on those. At this point, this is what it sounds like. Without those OTTs, yeah, so you can see those OTTs are pretty crucial. Next, got a Phasor. It's always good to add phasors into growls. Just repeating a Phasor throughout the signal chain just sort of gives it a bit of vowel. Again, it's all about getting vowel-y sort of sounds. So got the Phasor here. Got it set to this frequency. It doesn't really matter what frequency. It sounds good either way. So you can see that's really huge in getting that sort of growly sound. Next, Vocoder. It's always great for growls. Got it set to modulator, enhance to make it a bit brighter. I actually had unvoiced in it. I didn't like that though, so I took that out. You can mess around with that. It's a lot of preference when it comes to growls. Every growl is different. So, anyways, autofilter. Another autofilter. Slightly different automation curve. The only difference is that this is set to 12 and the other one's set to 24, so it has a lesser effect than the first one. Then I got an EQ8. Cutting out some lows because I'm making room for the sub. Cutting out a bit of this muddy area. Great tip is around the 400, 800 range. That's sort of a muddy area usually. Low mids. Usually want to cut those out. Not always, but usually want to cut them out. This area around the 3K to 5K, usually pretty bright, so I usually cut that out too. And I just added a little bit of brightness on the top end. It was getting a little bit too like dark almost. Not a huge difference, to be honest. Got 2 OTTs. Fatten it back up again. Because what happens is, as you add auto filters, phasors, vocoders, stuff like that, it sort of takes out the crunchiness and the fullness of it. So what you got to do is add OTTs in between to reinstate that fullness. Anyways, got another saturator. This one is set to the same settings. EQ, just high passing. I got my thick boy rack on here. Oh yeah, you can already hear there's an artifact when I turn that on. I've already made a video about my thick boy rack. If you guys want it, go check out the video. There's a download in the description. Just go check it out. So basically I've got just OTTs, distortion, more compression here. I didn't use the Phasor, some stereo widening, and then input gains driving it into the compressor. Anyways, with that, sorry if that's a bit loud. Anyways, then I've got an EQ8, again taking out the lows because as you can hear, they're a little bit out of control. So took those out. Now I've got my saturator. Oh, that's really loud, that artifact. Sorry guys. There. Saturator, set to soft sign, 3 decibels. Got another Phasor, set to around the same frequency. Dry wet's not all the way up. And then I got some EQing. So actually I'll let you hear it. So that sort of cleans it up a little bit, takes out more mud, takes out some of those frequencies I was talking about, raising the high end of it a little bit, taking out some of the lower end. And then I got another EQ8, and that's pretty much just reinforcing what this EQ just did. There was a really annoying frequency right at where this little EQ band is, so I took that out. Yeah, that just cleans up the low end also. Then I got utility, and yeah, that gets rid of the artifact. That's a lot better. As you might have seen if you watched my other Growl tutorial, I like to put a utility at the end, just to cut off any artifacts that might be there. Artifacts can be cool, but not this one. Anyways, so that's just cutting it off, just turning down the gain as soon as the Growl ends. And then got a glue compressor, and the glue compressor, the threshold is just set back a little bit. Got some punchy settings here. Ratio's 4, bit of makeup, bit of soft clip. Just barely clipping it. Might actually turn that up a little bit. Anyways, that sounds pretty good already. Now I move to the sub. Literally nothing's going on in this patch. It's literally just a sine wave. Obviously, I've got the same pitch bend, so I duplicated the first one. If you guys want to make subs easily, I recommend just duplicating the first chain, going into Serum like I did, turning off everything and just turning on the sub, because then, for example, you can keep settings such as the pitch bend, which here I changed, actually, which I should actually match because that is not matching. Anyways, then I just got a saturator on it, and that sounds really good. Even though the sub's not matching, sorry about that, guys. Didn't actually realize that. I was messing around with it earlier, so forgot to change that back. But that is pretty much the base. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back with more next week. See ya.